Hello, welcome back to Susie's Unique Designs. I'm going to teach you today how to make this beautiful floral arrangement in a pitcher container in the colors of lime green and hot pink. So grab your supplies and let's get started. Thank you for coming in today. So I have a couple ideas for another arrangement. I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see. But this is what we're going to be using. It's a pitcher that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I believe I got this last year. So we're going to be using this container. And then I have a few different options for some greenery. I thought these were really pretty. And then in these. And I think that like hot pink goes really good with this green. So I have some hot pink florals here. I have a little bit of ivy that we might use. And here's some other pink florals. And here's like part of a floral bush that I used from before. So I still have a few on there, and we might use some of these as well. So I'm going to turn the camera down so you guys can see, and let's get started. So first of all, we're going to start off with our greenery. And I think I need to go like this. Excuse my mess, but this is real craft life. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to set this over here. We're going to start with the greenery. So you want to figure out your height of your container, like how high do you want it to be, your arrangement, I should say. So let's get these apart here. So I think we'll probably start with, the ivy, because this can be tall. This is all wired, okay? So I just want to say that on my container, we could do it about, not as tall as this, but about halfway up we could do. So I'm going to cut these apart, and I'm going to take some of the longer ones here first. And so when I look at this container, I'm going to have it sit so that it's sitting on a table or something, so that it's this like sideways, not like this necessarily. So I'm gonna start designing like this. So we'll have our tallest piece back here, and all I did is put foam in there and all the way to the bottom. Okay, so sometimes when I'm doing arrangements, I like to do a dry run first before we glue it. So we'll put, so we can figure out how high we want this to be. Let's just check that out. I have another greenery as well that I am going to use. I believe a couple of them, I should say. Okay, so I also have this kind of greenery. I'm not sure what these are all called. This one is tall as well, so we might use that. And then I have another texture of greenery, which is really pretty. It has a little bit of white in it, so that's kind of nice. So let's see here. I think what we'll do is we'll make this one our tall greenery. I forgot, I slipped my mind what it is right now, so I apologize. I'm not sure, but these are from Hobby Lobby. They have them all the time. It's really nice greenery. It has a lot of pieces on it, which is really nice. You want to look for that when you're picking out greenery. Okay, Okay, so I like to do about 3 pieces at a time. Let's start with that. And you want to get some nice, good quality wire cutters when you are cutting or working with florals. It will really save your hands from being fatigued so easily. I will put my, I am an Amazon associate, so I will put my affiliate link in the description here. And if you were to purchase anything, I get a small commission from that. So, and that helps me to keep on bringing you more content. Okay, so this greenery is fun. This is called a pusher, so it pushes up. You can make it where you can make it more condensed, like where if you wanted to bunch it up like that, or you can leave it where it's spread out a little bit more, and then it has a bigger impact that way. So that's the way I'm gonna leave it. So let's take this out, our ivy out. Let's try this one here. Let's see how we want this here. I'm just kind of show you here. And I think that's good. Let's check this out here. So I'm kind of doing a triangle like that. So I think that will work out pretty good. And I think that will be high enough. You can have it sitting on a table or like in the entryway, like, you know, and you can display it so it shows out the window. That would be really pretty. So I think I'm going to do that with these. I'm going to go ahead and glue this because I do like that. Can you guys see that okay? Okay. So let's start with this one first, and I'm just going to, I have my glue pot over here. You can use your glue gun if you want. I like the glue pot, but it's whatever you prefer. And this is wired here, so you could bend it if you wanted, so that it gives it a little bit more character. Instead of just straight, we could just kind of bend it a little bit. Because things out in nature aren't perfect. Okay, so I'll add this one right here. And you wouldn't have to glue this, but if you were going to sell this to someone, then you definitely would want to. So my foam is glued in there, so. Okay, so I'm gonna do, this is pretty easy to do this here. There we go. Okay, so we have this, so remember, so far this is what we have. Isn't that gonna be pretty? We'll have some, add a little bit more here. So then let's check out, let's see, if we put our ivy in between, let's just go like that and see how that is. I think that will be pretty. Okay, so we'll add a piece of ivy there, just like this. And you can get your ivy anywhere, all different places. It's nice when you use like lighter and darker textures, or colors I mean, and then it's also important to use different textures. Like these are flat and, you know, have different white and green on them, and these are a different kind of texture. So it's just important. It gives your arrangements, it makes them more fun. Okay, we'll put this one over here like that. There we go. Just kind of move these around like this. Isn't that, see that how that, it's just so pretty like that. Okay, so we'll add one more smaller piece of the greenery here. just like this. There we go. Okay, so I think we will also be adding, you know, a couple of these hydrangeas. These are so cute. But we'll add our flowers first. So let's see here. I think what we're gonna do is, so these bunch that I got came with a whole bunch on here, and this was from Joann's. And as you guys probably have heard, Joann's is going out of business. There's a few things there yet. I don't know how your stores are, but Hobby Lobby has a lot of these florals as well. And Walmart has really pretty flowers and stuff like that. So I love the pink and the lime green. I think it just really is so pretty. Okay, so we're gonna, first we'll do this pink one, and I'm gonna cut it down so we can see how high we want it. And for this, I'm gonna take these leaves off because they look plasticky or cheap, so I always take those off. Not on everything, but for this particular one I am. And I got glue strings going all over here. Okay, so let's see how this looks and we'll trim it down. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm so sorry. So I put this here, let me see, there we go. And we're gonna bend it so it's kind of forward a little bit. There we go, just like that. And that looks good. So I'm gonna trim it off just a little bit. Okay. Okay, just like that. And I believe that these might be called cherry blossoms. Let's check out these right here. They don't ever have the name of the florals on the SKUs, but let's see here. Now these are really nice. These are wired, so that's nice. This is all wired here and stuff. So there's like 3 pieces here, which is excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it into 3 pieces then. So these will just peel off like this, and then I'm gonna cut it right there. Well, I guess I don't even need to cut it. I'll just peel those off. And then this one, I think we'll cut down here a little ways, give us a little bit of length. Okay, those are really nice. These are really nice. And make sure you save these because we can use them in different arrangements, okay? So just keep your pile somewhere. I don't know. Let's see here. Now these are really pretty. They have like a little twig on it and these little florals. Isn't that pretty? So we have our big flower there, and we have a tall one here. So what we're gonna do, we have 3, which is great. So we'll put 1 behind and then on the sides again. We have our big bloom. I'm so sorry, I keep moving this out of the camera. Sorry about that. Let me turn my camera just a little bit there. Okay, so we're gonna put the tall one back here, and then we'll put 1 on each side, okay? So let's do that. I might have to trim this down just as, oops, not with my scissors though. Okay. And we'll just go right down in here. There we go. Let's move these around here like this. add one on, we're gonna add one on here, on this side and over here. Just move these around a little bit. And then I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Isn't that pretty? Wow. So if you wanted, you could do it as a 360 arrangement, but like I said, for me, I'll probably be setting it like up where you could see it against a wall or something, or on the table where it's more front facing like that. So it's already starting to look very pretty. Okay, so now we need to add, let me just look at this a little bit. These are all bendable, so we'll make sure we move these all around, make them nice and full. Okay, so then let's see here. So now we have some of these smaller little lime green ones. So let's, and some white, oops, excuse me, white ones. I'm gonna cut a couple of those off here. For me, I like to cut when I have a bush like this, I cut them as I go, because otherwise sometimes when I cut them all off, then I have to stick them in my bucket, and I don't know how many of each one I have. So this just kind of helps me a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna just get rid of these here. And this one here. Okay, so we have these three. We'll add these in here. Okay, I like that. We'll cut it down just a little bit. Okay, so we'll come down a little bit on these. There we go. Like this. So I have two of the white, kind of it's a little bit lighter green, and one of the darker. So I'll put the darker one in the middle here. So, I mean, it's still a bright lime, I would say, or light green. Whoops, gotta be careful. Got my, get some glue strings on my florals. If it happens, we can just remove them as they dry. It's no big deal. Okay, so that looks pretty like that. Then we have this one. Let's trim it down a little bit here. And these are fun because they go pretty fast when you're making these, so. Just gotta, there we go. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I think that looks really, it's looking really pretty. Okay. Let me just look here. Okay, and one of the things that I like to do too is I like to add a bow. I love this one here is also super pretty. It's got some texture on it. It's really neat. So we'll set that aside for a moment because we don't need to put it in quite yet, I don't think. So let's see here. Okay, so we have these so far, but I'm thinking these hydrangeas I think would look really pretty in here as well. Hopefully these stems will go in here. I might need to use my pick machine because they're not as sturdy as I thought. Okay, so I'm just trimming these off a little bit. And we'll see here how this is gonna go. Yeah, I'm going to pick these because yeah, these need to, the stem is pretty soft on here, and so I need it to grab onto the foam. But I'm gonna do a dry run on these just to kind of get an idea where I want them all. First, and then I will use a pick on them. Okay, so this is kind of my idea, what I was thinking. I thought that would look really pretty, nice and full. And then we're still gonna add some more of these florals in on the top. And maybe like a bow hanging down here. So let me add a pick and I will be right back, okay? This is a pick machine, and this is not something that you have to have, but it sure is nice when you're working with florals. So this is how it works. It's called a steel pick machine. This brand is Steel Pix, which is STEELPIX. It's a stemming machine for florals. Okay, so what you do is, I was saying that these, when you have a stem and you want to put it into foam, and this one is more of a softer stem, so I'm going to trim it just a little bit here. And then what you do to load this, I think you guys can see this, is I'm going to push this handle up, and then it puts a steel pick in there, and I'm going to lay my floral in there, and then you're going to just push it back and let up, and then you have a steel pick like this, which is very sharp. Okay, so I'm going to do that to 3 of our hydrangeas. And I'm going to trim this just a little bit here. I'm going to pull the handle forward, then it loads it. Let's see. I think, yeah, I think I'm out of, that's so funny. I'm out of the steel pick, so I have to load some more. I will be right back. Okay, so I thought that it was all gone, but it wasn't. It was just being temperamental, because I thought that when you load these in here, they last forever. So here we go. I pushed it forward, and then it loaded a pick, a steel pick, and then I'm going to pull the handle back like this and just pull it hard, and it clips around your base like this. See, and then it has a steel pick on it. Okay, and then we have one more to do, so I'll pull it forward. Oops, I'm going to trim this one down a little bit, and then lay the stem in there, and then just pull it back, and so that it just goes right around the base of that. So there we go. We got these 3 done. It's very heavy, by the way, this steel pick machine is. So I'm going to move it out of the way for now. Okay, there we go. So we can get back to this. So we'll add a little glue. And let's see, this one is our shortest one. We're going to add these in the front, kind of. So this will be over here. I probably could have cut these even more. Goodness sakes. Let's see here. I think this will be fine. We'll go with it. Okay. So let's see here. You don't want to burn yourself. Yeah, I'm going to need to cut these down. I was not thinking. I was worried about the steel picks. So let's just throw that one away. We'll try another one. So you don't need them to be quite that long. Oops. Hopefully that worked. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That's better. Because we want these hydrangeas to be, you know, we have different heights of our arrangement. And we don't want these hydrangeas to be taller than our main focal flower, okay? So this is kind of the center of attention. So we want our hydrangeas to be lower. That's how I'm doing it. And if these little whirly things stick out, I just take my finger and just wrap my finger around them a little bit. And then they're all wired, so it gives it like a little curl, gives it a little personality. So you just do that with them if you want, or you can leave them straight, whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'll do some more of that in a minute, but let's get these on here. I think I might have to do the same. You get a lot of these steel picks when you order them, so it's okay if we have to cut a couple of them off to make these shorter. Okay, let's add this one in the front. There we go. Just like that. Then we'll do one more. There, look how pretty that is. We need to add more florals now, but we got these in the front. Okay, so I'm going to turn this just a little bit and just show you these little things are sticking out, so let's just twist them up. I'm just using my finger again to just bend them down a little bit, give them a little whirly thing. You don't have to, you can leave them however you want. But I wanted to give it a little bit of, I love the curls, so that's what I like to do. Okay, so we have these, have this back here. Okay, so let's add some more pretty pink in here. You can make this as simple or as full as you would like. Okay, so now we're gonna cut. I think I'm gonna use the rest of these, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just cut them all off right now. Let's see here. And then you can save these for different projects. Like if you leave them long, that's for another day. I'll do a little video on how to use these. They're very fun. Okay, so set that aside. Now, I'm gonna just take these off. I just don't like the greenery. Okay, so we have two of these, one of these pretty ones, and one of these pretty ones, and then one more, like one more rose. I'm just doing a dry run, just kind of looking at it here for a moment, seeing how I want to do this. And then we have two of these like this. That might be good. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and we'll use this because look how that looks really pretty. I think we'll just go ahead and use these. Let's glue these in like this. Okay. So what I did on this here, and it's just a personal preference, is that, okay, let me move this out of the way for a second. So they're all three different shapes, obviously, okay? But what I did is I took these two because they're somewhat similar in maybe the style, kind of. And then this one is, you know, the rosebud and completely different. So this one I'm going to put in the middle and these two on the side. And that's just what I prefer, but that's my thought process on this. Okay, so let's do that. These are really nice. Sometimes I'll cut these stems down because these ones are a thicker wire, and so I'll cut them down and then I save it so that I can add them sometimes. If I don't have my steel pick machine or something, you could use one of the end of these and tape it like with floral tape onto another floral, and then you could use that. So that works as well. But I'm going to leave this long because it's going to go in the back this time. So we'll just go right in here. Okay. This one I might trim just down a little bit. I loved these arrangements. As soon as I saw, these containers, as soon as I saw them, I'm like, oh my goodness. They had them in all the colors. I was so excited. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so that's what we have. Isn't that looking pretty? I love the hot pink with the lime green. So what I do want to show you is the back of this. So it still looks pretty. Even though we're kind of doing it as a front facing like this, our back is still pretty. And I got a few glue strings here, but that's okay. We'll just get them off. Okay, take them off. And let's see here. So I'm going to look at my arrangement again. I think it's looking really pretty. We have two left from that bush that I cut up. So I'm going to put them in here like this. Let's see. One there. Okay. So what I did here is I did one up higher and one down lower. And then you kind of have your rose bud right here. I think that looks really good. Okay, so let me glue these in. These are so fun. Whoops, I didn't. There we go. There's the foam. There we go. Okay, what do you guys think? I will take a picture against like the wall so you guys can see what it looks like, because I have all kinds of ribbon and all kinds of things that you guys see right now, but I think it's turning out really nice. So now we need to add our little bow, and you can skip this step if you want. So let's see here, but I think I'm gonna try it out. Just something simple with some pretty ribbon. I always say that when you add a bow, it's like the icing on the cake. I am gonna make my tails like about, here, I'm gonna show you here now, 10 inches. And I'm only gonna make about 4-inch loops this time. Let's just check that out here. I think that might be, let me see how big this is. Yeah, I think the 4-inch loop will be better. Yeah. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just gonna do this real quick here. I'm gonna twist, bring this underneath here like this. I'm just gonna check this out here. And the 3 loops, you could do just 2 loops if you wanted. You don't have to do 3. It's just something, sometimes I like to do 3 just to make it a little bit different. Okay. And then let's just cut this down here like this. And we'll get one of the wires again here. And all I'm going to do, so let's fold the wire in half first. That might make it easier. Okay, so just like that, just kind of fold it in half and then put this around here. Now I want to show you with the fair silk. Watch, it just kind of stays together. Now regular ribbon, it wouldn't do that. Fair silk is very nice. It's just kind of something as a special I like to use sometimes. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my loops up like this again. Okay, and then I'm going to use my bow again. So I'm pushing this like this, and I'm going to push it together, and then I'm going to use the ribbon to make it tight. Just a sec here, hang on. Then we'll just twist it like we did before a bunch of times. And then we'll trim it off so we can add this into our arrangement now. Like I said, you don't have to. I just sometimes like to add a bow. Okay. There we go. I think this is a better size for this arrangement. Check this one out here. Trim this off with not my scissors. Okay, let's check this one out. I think this will be a better size. There we go. Much better size. Oops, and I gotta do my little wires. So we'll just fold those over right away. And then we're gonna fold all the ribbon back like this. Just to make it look finished. Just taking and folding these wires back again. Okay, and our wire looks nice and finished. Now, sorry, I'm going to turn this like this so you guys can see. So I'm just going to roll the ribbon back under itself. So pretty. Just kind of have to move it around like you like. You make sure you're the boss of the ribbon. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the bow in there. I think it looks really pretty. And I like to have the bow off to the side over here like that. So this is how it looks. I will take a picture, like I said, you know, so you guys can see the end of it on a wall and see how that looks. So I'm just gonna move this around a little bit here. However, see which way you like it. And when I figure out, you know, which way I like it exactly, I guess, here, this is another way to look at it. Then I'll put a little dab of glue in there. So, but I think that looks absolutely adorable. I hope you guys had fun creating this, or that you'll give it a try. Isn't that pretty? And I will be back again soon. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will put some of the supplies that I used in my description. Thank you so much.